High school football players across the country saw their dreams come true today. It's National Signing Day. Over at Temple, Al Golden signed 26 players. His class ranked top in the MAC. Unlike last year and years past, Golden thinks he's got plenty of impact players.
I challenge you to tell some of these guys that they're not going to come in and play. I mean, some of these kids wanted to come in here and make an impact, and they're going to have that opportunity to do that.
And the head football coach from Temple University, Al Golden, joins us in a moment. Final half hour right here on AT&T Daily News Live with Bob Cooney and Paul Domowitch. We welcome head football coach at Temple University, Al Golden. Coach, always great seeing you. How you doing?
Doing great.
What do you have to say about your recruiting class? Big thumbs up?
Yeah, I like it. Staff did a great job, and Matt Rule was our recruiting coordinator. He's now moved on to be our offensive coordinator, but he did a great job spearheading this group, and it's by far the most talented group that we've brought in 3 years.
According to Scout.com, we got a little one sheet, little graphic on the recruiting class that Coach Golden has brought in, and some stats here. Entering third season as Temple's head coach, 5-19 overall record last season, 4-8, which is a big improvement. Temple's records are 3 previous seasons, 3-31, but the recruiting class ranked best in the MAC, ranked 73rd overall, according to Scout.com, which is saying something. How were you able to do it?
Well, we got a lot of good coaches on our staff, and I think the biggest difference right now is the university. You know, the university's hot. We had about 20,000 applications last year for 4,300 spots, and we're in the midst of $450 million worth of capital improvements right now on campus. So when the kids come on campus now, they're seeing a whole new Temple University, and obviously they like what we're doing on the field. We won 4 games in our conference. We won 4-4 in our conference with 61 scholarship players and 1 senior. So we made a lot of progress last year.
Bobby? Now, I assume when you come in, you're pretty much just trying to get as much as you can as far as recruiting goes and bring everybody in. But now that you do have a couple of classes in here, are you more choosy now? You know, as certain things, or is it still just everything we can get?
No, we're definitely more selective now. And as I said in the press conference yesterday, down the stretch, we lost a kid to Arkansas, we lost a kid to Ole Miss, lost a kid to Louisville, and lost a kid to Iowa. But we also beat Iowa, Syracuse, Rutgers, UNC down the stretch. And then we also got, the Vaughn Caraway kid from Muhlenberg out there by Reading that came down between us, West Virginia, and Pitt. So we're mixing it up with a higher group of schools than we were 2 years ago, and you're going to take some on the chin. But if you're going to change anything, there's Vaughn right there. But if you're going to change anything, you have to mix it up with those people.
Yeah.
What areas are you, I mean, your recruiting approach now, I mean, what areas do you attack primarily?
Well, it's only been one approach since we've been here, Paul, and that's basically, we call it our footprint, and it's from Connecticut down to the D.C. metro area and west to, we say west to Pittsburgh, but really it's west to State College and Altoona in that area. And this class represents 22 people from that area, and so that was tremendous. We had 12 from Pennsylvania, 10 from southeastern Pennsylvania, and 5 from Metro Philly, which was really concentrated recruiting effort, and it's starting to pay dividends.
You brought in the 08 National Signing Day, I call it a brochure. It says Unfinished Business, and it's a look at what you've brought in, the talent that you have assembled. I'm wondering what's your closing line? What do you say to these young men when you go into their homes and you talk to their parents?
Yeah.
We had Greg Schiano on the other day, and I asked him the same thing. How do you close the deal?
Yeah. I don't know. I think, we treat each player individually, and that's not much different than how we treat our players. And for all the things the coaches do, for all the things that the university and the city and the media market could sell a kid on, and we have a lot to sell a kid on, the bottom line is it's those informal meetings and those informal sit-downs with our student athletes at 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night getting a cheesesteak or things of that nature where they're actually finding out what the coaches are all about. And I think what the student athletes now are hearing from our current players is that this is real. This is what they do. They do check on your classes. They do follow up on your academic progress. They do coach a certain way. So I think that's been our biggest closer.
How early are you hearing about kids now? I know college basketball, I'll talk to a college coach and, 2 days before Christmas he says, I'm going to look at a freshman in high school. Do you believe this? But, I mean, that's the listing they're getting, and obviously you have to get in early. How early do you hear about kids?
Well, I got an email this morning from a coach that has an 8th grader, and he wants to know what to do with him.
Oh, my gosh.
Starts that young, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I just think for us it's a matter of identifying our target market, making sure they have the qualities that we're looking for. We look for self-starters. We had 18 captains in this group. Our admissions said this is the best group in 8 years. And that's what we're looking for. I don't want to chase guys around campus. I don't want to chase guys getting in the weight room. That's how you win. And you build a core group of guys, and then eventually they start to be the leaders and the mentors on the team, and then it will start to perpetuate. And we're close to that now. We're not there yet. We have to start getting into that 7, 8, 9 win range, and then it could start to perpetuate itself.
Coaches I'm sorry, go ahead, Paul. Coaches by nature aren't very patient people. Is it tough the first few years to get this up and running?
See, I got these little gray hairs here now. You know, I was sick the last 2 days, so I was afraid I wasn't going to make it. But I knew Hexall jumped his dad for not.
Yeah, that's right.
What's he going to say to me if I don't? So, no, but it's tough when you start a program. But you know, that's the joy. You know, to see what the kids are doing now and to see how we've impacted young men's lives. And I look at some of the kids now that were really failing in school or not doing well in school, didn't have self-esteem or pride when we got there, that now they're our captains. Now they're I brought Terrence Knighton on Michael's show this fall, and I just sat back and watched this kid handle himself. Yeah. And Leon Azubuike and some of the other guys, and we finally have a senior class. And you think about that, we had one scholarship senior last year. Now we're going to have some seniors that can actually be leaders for us.
Mm-hmm. You got a couple kids outside of that recruiting blueprint, one from the Dallas-Fort Worth area that you recruited, another from Boca Raton. How did you...
Great question, first of all. What we believe in is we will recruit Florida, but we don't want to spend a ton of money in Florida. So what we do is we try to get down to the University of Florida football camp. We try to get down into the Miami football camp. And rather than you know, pay for coaches to go down all May and all fall, we'll infiltrate those camps and see a ton of kids in a 3-day period. And that's where we met the young man from Texas. And he did a great job in that camp, and our coaches just stayed on him, and the kid wanted to come back east and wanted to get an education, and he fit everything that we were looking for. He's a tremendous young man. Marlon Terrell is his name. And then the kids from Florida, which that's the only, you know, kind of outlying area that we will recruit. I think Florida, there's a lot of obviously talent in Florida, but I think there's a lot of kids that are transient, you know, that are free agents, so to speak. And the kid Tony Cornelius that you referenced there from Boca is a very good tailback.
Yeah, I got to ask you this question that comes up when you have a strong coach that comes in. People want to know, how long are you going to stay here, Coach? And there was the UCLA situation. I know some alums were a little bit taken aback by that. I guess you had a couple of phone calls, or I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened, but I'm wondering what your thoughts are on staying at Temple.
Well, our thoughts are what's on that cover of the brochure. I mean, we have a lot of work to do, and that's why it makes reference to unfinished business. You know, you know, we're at like stage 2 right now. We went 4-4 in the conference, and we got to get to the next stage where we're contending for bowl games. And when I sat down with you in the fall, we had just won 3 games in a row, but we didn't finish. We only won one game since then. So we got to get to that next stage. But you know, I look at it as a positive. We've had coaches on our staff that have gone on to the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Eagles, Boston College, Virginia Tech, and Auburn. And the UCLA people thought enough about the way we handle our student athletes and the way we're conducting our program to talk to the head coach, and I think that's good for Temple University, to be honest with you.
Head coach, who's you?
How
Good for the head coach.
Wanted to talk to the head coach.
But I mean,
this guy.
You know, how can it not be good for Temple University?
You're right. You're right. It is.
And so we have a great staff in place, and it's funny, since that occurred, we got hot in recruiting. You know, we got Vaughn Caraway, we got Adrian Robinson's a great linebacker from Harrisburg. We beat Pitt on, who's playing in the Big 33 game. So Vaughn's playing in the Big 33 game. We got Akeem Smith from Liberty Bethlehem after that. We got A.J. Rapley and Tony Cornelius from Boca Raton after that occurred. So I don't think the notoriety hurt Temple. And right now we're excited about what we're getting ready to do.
A long ways from the days about 5 years ago when recruiting was like maybe 90% JUCO kids.
Yeah, really one junior college kid. There's 2 listed, but there's truly one. Jared Williams is a young man that went out there for 1 semester. He was a full qualifier coming out of high school and went out there, and now he's with us at mid-year. So like I said, we're excited about this group, and it was a great job by our staff.
Now, Thanks for coming on. Always great talking
Thank
to
you
you.
very
Great
much.
to see you. Al
Thanks,
Golden,
guys.
head coach at Temple University, on his recruiting class. Scout.com says best in the MAC, and it's pretty darn good nationwide as well. We'll take a break.